We're coming down to the border of Short Beach and the border of Branford, Connecticut. This is Clark Avenue. And straight down to the left is the Yale Boathouse. It's actually spectacular here. I'm gonna just do a little quick video since it's so pretty with the snow. I'm gonna do a little quick video right here and you can see how spectacular it is here with the water. This is just incredibly beautiful. This is Short Beach in Branford, Connecticut. It's where what they call the Thimble Islands begin. There's there's about 60 islands out to the east here off of this area. This is a really stunning, kind of more modern, contemporary house. Someone built, has an incredible fireplace. Anyway, it's not a Frank Lloyd Wright inspired because the Frank Lloyd Wrights always have the chimney in the center of the home, always in the center. But coming down here, this is Clark Avenue, there's a little beach right here, neighborhood beach. Couldn't really see it. And then right over here, I'll show you in a second, is these are really nice little homes, is the Yale Boathouse. Here, I'll show you. This is the Yale Boathouse where the sailing team sails what are called 420s. They're little 2-man, 1-man, 2-man, I think maybe 2-man in the racing or 3-man. This is the Yale Boathouse. And if you have, those are the docks they have. In the summertime, they actually have a camp in there for neighborhood kids. It's awesome. And if you live in the area, you can also belong to it there. You can pay about $200, I think, for the summer, and then you can access all of their sailboats, their 420s. And I always set it up where I had one of the camp counselors, because they used them for the camp until about 2 o'clock, and I had it where the camp counselors would, leave a boat set up for me. I pay like a camp counselor like $20 for the season, and he would leave a boat set up for me. So I'm just gonna come down here because it's so beautiful, and I might upload this into my new YouTube channel I'm gonna build. But if you look down here, this is really pretty. There's so many of these little coves here in Branford because the coast is so jaggedy. All these little inlets, and that is salt water, believe it or not, and it is frozen. It is very hard it's very difficult to have salt water freezing and versus fresh water. It's much easier to freeze fresh water than salt water. But this is very, very pretty here, and I want everybody to see how nice it is. I'm just gonna go in here and turn around. This is a little driving tour of the winter time in Short Beach, Connecticut, Branford, B-R-A-N-F-O-R-D, Connecticut. The zip code is 06405 for anybody who is keeping track. I'm trying to turn around with all this snow. It is a little bit difficult. Got to be careful. All these little houses. Now you see some of these New Yorkers have been coming out here, getting some houses, and then they build a big one like that. So they're going to always maximize. Anybody who's going to build in here is going to maximize the square footage and the fact that all of these lots are what's called non-conforming. So anyway, because these houses were mainly built down here in the 1800s, so it was way before there were any kind of zoning laws of any kind. Believe me. Yeah, so I'm gonna just bring you right down here because I just want to show everybody because I think people might have interest. But this is down here is where we're continuing down Clark Avenue. From behind us is where that Yale Boat Club is, or Yale Sailing Team Boat Club. Their D1 sailing team. We're only about 10 minutes from Yale University. We're right in Branford, Connecticut, which is this area, Short Beach, is only about 10 minutes from Yale. So a lot of the Yale faculty live in this area because it's so easy to get here. Now down to the right here, which I'll just pull in a little bit to this driveway, but this area right here, this building, this very cool building, this is a boat club or boat yard. This is established in 1934. Okay, during the height of the Depression, I guess. It's the Kelsey Boat Yard, because there's an island off of here. It's one of the largest thimble, T-H-I-M-B-L-E, thimble, like the sewing thimble to protect your fingers. Thimble Islands, because they're little tiny islands, but Kelsey Island, K-E-L-S-E-Y, just like the sign, is directly south of here, and is one of the larger ones. And there is a old story, a legend, that Blackbeard himself, Blackbeard the pirate, who was very active in these waters, that he buried his treasure on Kelsey Island. And, I think his ship sank. They found his ship off Cape Cod somewhere in the last 10 years or so. I think it was called the Widda. And there was no treasure on it. So they pretty much know that he did bury or hide his treasure somewhere along the entire East Coast. So see down here it says no trespassing, a big sign. No trespassing, but D is gonna do a little maneuver, just a quick little maneuver here, so you can see a little more, and then I'm gonna back around and I'm gonna get out of here because I don't want to get any trouble. Because there's one thing about Connecticut that most people don't know, and that is Connecticut is, made most of the small arms with Colt, Henry, Marlin, because he had Colt's factory for firearms in Hartford and then New Haven, and then because of that you had all these other people that worked for him, that learned all their skills working for Colt, and then they had their own factories, like pick Ruger and Remington. They were all here. Remington, Ruger, Henry rifles back in the 1800s, Marlin, Mossberg. I mean, everything's made in Connecticut and like Massachusetts. So all the small arms going way back into the 1800s up until even during World War II. The Springfield rifle was the great sniper rifle from World War I. Was the great Springfield 1903 rifle. Is in the Saving Private Ryan, the sniper. That's his rifle. Is the 1903 Springfield. Someone can correct me if I have that wrong. Please correct me. No problem with that. Anyway, so there's everybody in Connecticut is armed. Okay, in case people didn't know, like everybody is armed. Which is reminding me, my pistol permit is about to expire, and I've got to go do some stuff with that today. But there's a really nice beach right here and great view, and I just want to make sure that everyone can see it. So look at that. That is Granite Bay, and that's for the docks of the Yale Sailing Team Boat Yard right here. And there's a beach right here, a really nice crescent beach for the neighborhood. And then there's a fucking truck coming. Oh, sorry. Cool, man. Rev your engine. Wow. These knuckleheads around here, some of them are real rednecks. Get some real rednecks in Connecticut. I never knew it till I lived up here and came up to the east part of the state, but a lot of real hardcore knucklehead rednecks. Is that a buoy or a seal out there? What is that? Anyway, this is the beginning of the Thimble Islands. This is Granite Bay right out here. Okay, it's awesome. Look how pretty that is. Sun. So nice. Short Beach. The town is Branford. The section's called Short Beach. And this is Pages Cove, Granite Bay, and Pages Cove. And we're expecting another storm. We just had Winter Storm Benjamin. We're expecting another storm probably in the next, over the weekend. Another one, they're not sure. Nor'easter, winter storm, winter hurricane, nor'easter coming up. They're not sure yet where it's going to hit. But look at that. Isn't that pretty? Okay, guys, I'm just gonna put the phone back in here so you can see. We're gonna head over to right down the road here, the Shore Road. It's a beautiful contemporary house there, and we're gonna more modern one. You can see some of the other houses. These are all older homes, and these are all. Look, I'm gonna take you down this little tiny road. It's called Beckett. This little tiny laneway, and they never would have allowed houses. These are right. I think some of these houses are right on the water. These houses on the right are directly on the water, so it's really nice houses. But they never would have allowed these houses to be built so close together in the 20th century. These were built in the 19th century. These houses, not these exact houses, but the houses that were here were built in the 1800s. And then this is one of the first summer areas in Connecticut, because it was right outside New Haven. It was just a little bit outside New Haven. So anyway, I'm just bringing you guys through here because it's so nice, so cute. And there's a little library there, those little tiny library things. And this is what they call a road end. You see how the road ends right at the beach, at the water? Now, there's a reason for that in Connecticut. That is to make sure, that's to guarantee public access to the waterfront. So what that means is that these little houses that are on the water, they cannot claim that this is a private beach right here. Because the road ends into the water, anyone from any part, from anywhere, can come here and access this beach and this water right here. Literally anybody could come out. You could take a train from New York and bring a kayak with you, an inflatable kayak or a paddleboard, and set it up and launch it right here. It's amazing. It's a road end beach, so it's very cool. But I wanted to show you the little neighborhood church. I'm not sure if I'll have a chance. It's a little non-denominational church. It's awesome. I lived here for a year in the haunted house around the corner, Little Bay Lane. At 27 Little Bay Lane, I lived in that house where the only arson murder that ever happened in Branford, Connecticut, happened in that house. So what I want to do right here is I'm going to back up now using my awesome backup camera, and I'm gonna try to show you guys this beautiful, see if I can get it in the camera, this beautiful non-denominational church that's right here. It's about 15 degrees right now, so I'm trying to do as much as I can without getting out of the car. Then I'm gonna put this video into my editing software that I have, and I'm gonna put it up on, I'm not sure which of my YouTube channels, or maybe I'll make a new channel, I'm not sure. But this is all about, tourism or traveling around New England or the United States, or I'm not sure what it is. But this right here is this beautiful, wonderful, non-denominational church that's in the Short Beach neighborhood of Branford, Connecticut. This is a waterfront neighborhood, and it used to just be summer homes, but now it's mostly year-round, or at least half of it is year-round homes. And you can commute to New York from here easily. Like if I was going to commute to New York from here, I wouldn't go to the Branford station. What I would do is I would drive down 95 south, down past New Haven into Fairfield County, and I would go to probably like Norotan Heights Station, which is just one stop past Stamford, and they have a big parking lot there, and I'd park there, or maybe Fairfield or somewhere. I would try different stations, and then I would park, and I would try, and then I would be commuting into New York. But this area is directly between New York City and Boston. That was the Short Beach Union Church. They say everyone is welcome. Now, there is a little wine bar here that apparently no one thought it would survive, but it's right there where those little windows are. There's a wine bar. It's called Rosso Vino. And then right next to it is a little pizza place. And believe it or not, there's this, they have their own little post office right here. And Short Beach is right next to that. And the pizza is okay. It's some kind of frozen crust pizza, pre-made crust. But there's the really good neighborhood garage, which everyone needs that right here. I can tell you they're really good because it's called Shore Automotive, and I can tell you it's really good because I used them many times, and they were very, very good to me. We're also passing the volunteer firehouse, which it's really a shame, but in all these areas, the volunteer firehouses are basically becoming a thing of the past. So this is the stop sign where I started filming. It's Clark Avenue there, Clark Road. Now I'm continuing on the Shore Road here, and I'm gonna be stopping right here because someone is pulling out and it's blind, and they're gonna want to turn. So we're coming right now down this Shore Road here, and it's totally spectacular, into what is called into East Haven. See, there's the river, and here, it's over here is the river on this side. But see, we're coming into East Haven, and let's see all this rock and everything, and this is where the Indians, I know for a fact, the Indians fought here, and this is like a natural fortified position with the river and all the rock, because there is a little known state park here called Farm River State Park, and it starts right over here. Farm River State Park, it starts right up here on the left, and I've walked through there. Nobody really walks through there. Very few people walk through there. There's a parking spot for like 4 cars. It's almost unknown. See the brown sign here, Farm River State Park, and there's parking area on your left, very tiny. If you walk through there, it's pretty clear this really incredible state park along a tidal river in Connecticut, and it was not developed. And the reason that is because it was part of the original treaty of the Native American lands that were guaranteed to the Native Americans when, after this big battle in Old Saybrook, they did a deal, a treaty, that the settlers could have they said the settlers could have New Haven Harbor, which is an incredible harbor, but the Native Americans got to keep their villages on the western sides of all of the estuaries and rivers and tidal rivers, so they could face east in the morning, and that's what they did. So we're in East Haven now. That's why that was all Native American land, that Farm River State Park, and then they just died off. They died off from disease and everything, but I'm pretty sure their burial grounds were in there because this is a very large state park, and it's now basically an area for walking and ospreys and everything. Now we're coming into East Haven. East Haven is a little bit sketch, as they say. So East Haven, Connecticut, don't get mad at me, anybody in East Haven. I lived here for a year, it was nice. I actually like it. It reminds me of my hometown, New Rochelle, New York. But anyway, we're coming out to the main road up here, and there's a guy behind me. I'm sure he's gonna want to get away from me, and I'm gonna make a left turn. And there's a cool little deli right here. I've gone there many times right in here. A little deli. If you're trying to learn about East Haven, Branford, Short Beach, Connecticut, it's a great little deli. Now coming out here to this main road, and you can get on 142, guess what? There is a Dunkin' right here. There is a Rite Aid over there. I think they're closing it. There's a gas station, there's a supermarket, and everything that you need right over here. So there's this gas station I used to go to. This is where I used to live, literally. I used to live over here. I thought there was a supermarket in here. I guess not. There's lots of boats. This is actually where they have, there is a, believe it or not, Town Fair Tire, which is a huge tire company, is headquartered right here on the right, back in there. And there's also right up here, there is this is Town Fair Tire on the right, this big warehouse. And there's also it's like the biggest tire dealer in New England. There's also a pasta factory there on the right. This area is very heavily Italian. It was very heavily settled by the Italians, largely because there were some manufacturing companies in New Haven in the early 1800s, mid 1800s, and they were from a certain part of Italy, I believe the Naples part. So they actually ran ads in papers in Italy in like the I don't know, 70s, 1860s, 70s, 80s, and thousands of Italian immigrants came to work directly in the New Haven, Connecticut area, or in New Haven itself, and they would come directly to New Haven. Like, I guess they had to go to New York, go to Ellis Island and all that, but then they would, to whatever in those days, and then they would come right out here. So right out to New Haven on like a paddle boat right up the coast to New Haven, because that's what these jobs were. They had lots and lots of jobs for them at these factories, and everybody spoke Italian, and they didn't really have to, they didn't have to learn English really. They could just go there. It was like a little small part of Italy because everybody was from the same part of Italy, and everybody knew Italian and the customs and, the food and everything. That's why the pizza in Connecticut and New Haven specifically is very, very good, because of this influx of Italian people, and the pizza it's different. It's very, very different. It's not like New York pizza. It's very different. So the way it's different is they use, actually, like Pepe's Pizza, the original Pepe's Pizza, they use a coal-fired brick oven. It's not fired by gas or wood or anything. It's fired by coal. And it's a very tiny, it's a huge brick oven with a tiny opening, and they have these paddles that are like 20 feet long, the handles and stuff. It's very special pizza. When they cook it in there, it literally takes about 2 minutes to cook the pizza. It's so hot. And it's a thin crusted pizza. So it's very delicious. Pepe's Pizza, they now have made it into a chain, and of course an equity company has bought it and made it into a chain and everything. So anyway, coming down to the water here, this is my old neighborhood in East Haven. East Haven is right next to Branford and Short Beach, like I showed you. And East Haven, for whatever reason, this neighborhood school right over here in Mamagwin, this area, this part of town's called Mamagwin, right on the beach. Mamagwin, it's an Indian name because, like I told you, the Indian Native Americans, this whole area, this peninsula was their village. This is where their village was. And right here, this is the town beach in East Haven, and this is the most secret, unknown, special little town beach in East Haven, Connecticut. And you have to live in the town to belong here, to come here. It is a public beach, but they do their best to keep people out. They're really good at it. They started doing these resident stickers a few years ago, and you've got to have the resident sticker. See, it says on there, you can't really see it because the sunlight isn't right, but it's Mamagwin Public Beach. It's awesome. They have movies down here in the summer. If someone's walking their dog, the dogs are allowed on the beach, I think, in the off season, like right now. This beach, you can't really see the beach itself, but this beach is really spectacular. I think it's the best beach in Connecticut because it's 24 miles across the sound. It's the widest part of the sound, and because this beach is way out, about 2 miles out, this kind of like a peninsula. It's the, like, one side of the horseshoe, of the easternmost horseshoe side of the entrance to the New Haven Harbor, and because of that, the water is 25 miles across Long Island. It's the widest part of what's called Long Island Sound, and because of that, the water gets flushed out the best. So in the summer, it's very nice. It's very, very nice. So the guy who was, oh, there's somebody else coming. I'm gonna pull in. But there's a lot of vehicles coming because there's lots of little houses out here and lots of condos, and in East Haven they let them do whatever they want as far as building condos and houses, and it's way overdeveloped. So and I am trying to get out of here because I want to get out of that parking spot, and I'm gonna go down here, and they have this really nice little splash pad on the left, this really nice jungle gym and playground here, and everybody loves it out here. In the summer, this is just packed with people. They have volleyball. They've got a couple of volleyball nets, and people, the younger people, I can't believe I said that now, but I'm 62 now, so the younger people love to play volleyball out here, and people actually, you can actually take a bus. I mean, if you can't park a car out here because you're not a resident, and they will tow you very quickly for all the streets, like about a mile inland, seriously. So what you need to do is you need to just leave the car at home. Take the bus out. If you're in New Haven or something and you want to come out here for the day, the best thing to do is take the bus out. There's a bus that goes from like the station, the train station, and it comes all the way out here. So just bring your beach chair, bring your stuff on the bus, and you know, take the bus out here. That's what I would do. But the beach out here is spectacular. You can, if you don't have a car, you can just walk right in. You know, there's no entry fee if you're walking. You know, just walk in. Forget about the car. See, it says there's a sign. There's signs every 10 feet around here. Permanent parking only, May 15th to October 15th. So the entire season, okay, like 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. So they're not playing around out here. So these are called the named streets now. They go all north and south. This is called Stevens Street. Now I used to shovel this right there, the house in the corner, the red house. I used to take care of that lady's shoveling, and she's definitely gone, and I think she must have passed away. She was a very nice lady. This is now Henry Street. I used to live here on Henry Street. And these are the numbers, like, oh, this is number 7 on the right at the beginning of Henry Street. And you see these little tiny houses. Most of them are summer cottages that were later converted, and some of them were always year-rounders. But the school system here, the elementary is fine, but the middle school and the high school are actually terrible. Like, I never thought you could see a rating of a 2 out of 10 for a high school on grade schools and on like Zillow or whatever, Realtor.com. But it is, the high school here is rated as a 2 out of 10 in East Haven, Connecticut. That's not so great. So, you know, this is, and when it snows here, you got to have your cars up the street, because the streets are so narrow that there's like a parking ban. And anyway, it's they'll tell you in a second. And this area is, you know, it's very mixed, and it's I would compare it to kind of where I grew up, like a little more mixed, a little everyone gets along fine, but I can guarantee you that everybody is armed here. I can guarantee you of that. There's just no doubt in my mind that everybody here is armed. I was armed when I lived here, and it's a good way to be. You want to be armed. So you can kind of tell when a house turns over, because number one, they get a dumpster. So I'm just looking at I used to live in